All right, so for our review, I want to just go over some of the grammar work that we had from last week, and we'll talk more about this in class as well, but I want to make certain that this is available for you. So let's take a look at the comma usage and make certain that we're good on that. So the goal in this one was not only to put in the appropriate comma, but then identify the rule for this. And so just a quick note, so items in a series would be something like bread, comma, milk, comma, and bacon. Introductory material might be a complex sentence or a transition word. So this goes back to Writing Center 6. So it could be, you know, after I went to the store, comma, or finally, comma, and then the rest of the sentence. And then between two thoughts, this is your compound sentence. Most commonly we use comma and for that, and that's when we have two complete sentences, two independent clauses on either side. All right, so let's take a look at what this is. So in the first one, the picnic basket looks small, comma, but, so there's that coordinating conjunction, so that is the option for C. Gritting his teeth, comma, and this is how we know we're in the right spot. There's our subject and verb that follows it. This is that introductory word group, so I can put a B there. And introductory word groups, often we can either eliminate them and the rest of the sentence makes sense, or we can move it to the other part of the sentence, which certainly could be the case here. And then the four most common words that a baby first says are mama, comma, daddy, comma, dog, comma, and hi. We still need this comma here. This is what we call the Oxford comma. And in formal writing, we use it there to separate out each piece for that. So this would be A. Considering all the weight on board, comma, and notice that as I read this, that comma forces me to take that pause, and so that allows me as the reader to pace myself through it. And again, here's our subject and verb on this side. I no longer believe in the tooth fairy, comma, and so again, here is our subject-verb combinations here, and so if we have those two pieces, we know we're dealing with that compound sentence structure. So the sour-looking fortune teller predicted that bad luck, comma, loneliness, comma, and a short life. So here's 1, 2, and 3. So this is one way to check to make certain that you're in the right spot for these items. So that's going to be items in a series. Because of a mistake on the invitations, comma, introductory word group for that one. My mother usually has to bribe, comma, threaten, comma, or plead with my brother, so items in a series again. Dancing the night away, comma, introductory word group. And then the politician faced charges of sexual harassment during his term in office, comma, so. So there we have our compound sentence structure. All right, let me move this up here so you can see it. So there are some of the answers. Hopefully you find this helpful, and we'll have a chance to talk a little bit more in class about this. Continuing on with some of our work about verbs, for the most part there was no real issue in the first section, but keep in mind that your job on the exam will be to track down errors, and so this is a good practice with editing. And again, if you read this out loud, you can sometimes hear where the mistake is. After the car accident, Carmen brought her car to the mechanic. He replaced, so we have these past tense forms, and installed. Then he, whoops, there's our missing piece, said. So again, it's about identifying where those changes occur and then tracking those down. So we have ed here. He looked, want the ed there. Dot takes, she has. So notice all these s's here. She gets. So this means that this one needs to be changed to match the S as well. So this is, again, that consistency issue. The chef designed, prepared, greased. This is really the issue, though, that most of you had for this activity, and this is the idea of passive to active. And what this really means is that we take these subjects that are at the ends of the sentences, and we push them forward, and we make them do the action. So what did the guests do? Guests devoured. The plumber unclogged, and then flowing water created. So there are, of course, other ways that you could have reframed this sentence, these sentences, but in this case, this is what we were hoping for, just pushing that subject forward, and that's often what we talk about when we're creating our topic sentences as well. And I don't think there were any issues on C, so I'll just skip over that. We can talk in class if you have any other questions. And then finally, run-ons and comma splices, just some quick structure here. You had a couple options here. The first thing was to identify the separations between the two sentences. So again, if you read these out loud, you can often hear it. So my sister is a hero. My sister is a hero. And then we can break it there. Last year, she saved someone from a burning car. Shark attacks are incredibly rare. We spotted the celebrity walking down the sidewalk. The man spoke on a cell phone throughout the movie. Brianna had a difficult time in high school. So these are all problems. This is the idea of just a straight run-on or a fused sentence where there's no punctuation. And this is the idea of a comma splice where all we've done is added in a comma and it's simply not strong enough for that. So you had the option just to simply use the semicolons between these. And if you use a semicolon, we don't have to capitalize after the semicolon. So that's a very specific part of the rule for that one. Last year. Some of you chose to do some other choices on this, and on the exam you'll have an option of how you want to make changes to things. So I hope you find this helpful, and we'll talk more in class as we do review. Take care.